Hi, my name is Adeze Shoko and I'm the Director of Design and Strategy at Ventures Platform Foundation. I'm here to tell you how the Baltics can engage Africa. Everybody is talking about investing in Africa, especially amongst European countries. There is actually an EU-Africa strategy formulated by the European Union. This sounds like a second Scrabble for Africa, except this time history reminds us that we can engage better. On February 19, 2021, AfriKo, a Lithuania-based policy and research nonprofit, organized a trialogue on Baltic-EU-Africa relations with the objective to increase Baltic involvement in EU-Africa relations. By Baltics, we mean countries like Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Nigeria and Lithuania had an opportunity to engage through the Digital Explorers project implemented by a consortium of partners, including Ventures Platform, AfriKo, Code Academy, and supported by the EU. Based on this Nigeria-Lithuania experience, here are 5 important factors that the Baltics should consider as they seek to engage Africa. Number 1, establish a point of exchange. There has to be a focal area of concentration where there is mutual interest. It's important to determine what would you give to the continent and what do you want in return. By return, we mean something that is beneficial to you and what's beneficial to the country, that's the African country in question. In the Nigerian-Lithuania experience, it was digital transformation. Both countries are buzzing ICT markets, and the program was focused on digital talent exchange, Lithuanian wanting foreign talents, and institutional knowledge sharing, Nigeria wanting to understand innovation policy and implement it. Second factor to consider is bottom-up approach. In the Nigeria-Lithuania experience, having a people-to-people approach allowed for more efficiency, more trust building, and more collaboration in the effective implementation of the project. Top-down approach has been quite bureaucratic, inefficient, and tends to be out of touch with the real issues. It was young leaders in Lithuania and young leaders in Nigeria that managed the coordination and implementation of the project. At the same time, adopting a collaborative approach by involving other government and ecosystem actors. To do this effectively, that is, to have and adopt an effective bottom-up approach, you will need a local partner. And this local partner serves as a guide and facilitator for conducting needs assessments and engagements to inform this intervention. There is a need to identify a local partner that has characteristics like integrity, network, influence, has operational infrastructure, and strategic alignment to be able to work with you to achieve mutual objectives. In the Nigeria-Lithuania experience, it was Ventures Platform that was the local partner in Nigeria and AfriKo the local partner in Lithuania. The third factor to consider is having a market-driven versus charity-driven approach or focus. While there is need to continue to invest in charity or humanitarian work, there is need for more sustainable economic development. This is how developed countries, as we know it, navigated poor economic conditions. Investments need to be market-driven rather than humanitarian only in its approach. This will ensure long-term vested interests as a result of the return on investment on both sides. It will challenge African countries to play their role and play their part to sustain this engagement because of the mutual benefit. And it will trigger good governance as a criteria to sustain such investment. In the Nigerian-Lithuanian case, the talent exchange was market-driven as the talent identified in Nigeria were actually hired and paid salaries by the Lithuanian firms. As a result, this informed a research that fielded policy conversations around the need for advanced learning programs and curriculum reform to prepare African talent for the global market. Number 4, trust building. I cannot emphasize on this point enough. Trust is very crucial for successful engagement, and this process requires patience and long-term investment. Doing this will mitigate assumptions around neo-colonialism or thoughts around the second wave of exploitation. You have to be curious, you have to be empathic, and open enough to actually visit the continent, of course, COVID-19 regulations permitting, or find other meaningful ways to engage with the people on a regular basis. The objective here is to understand and learn the context understand the mindset and the issues that help you formulate a strategy. In the Nigeria-Lithuanian case, AfriKo visited Nigeria and then brought representatives from the private sector to engage the people, to understand and immerse, to conduct interviews and engage the ecosystem. It's also important to manage perception and have an open and honest conversation about what you want to get out of this engagement. In the Nigerian-Lithuanian experience, there were a series of dialogue sessions and conversations with diverse stakeholders to be clear about the intent of the project. This way there is trust and everybody knows what the agenda is and they're working towards implementing that agenda. The last point to note is inclusive dialogue and having accountability measures. Include African representatives in high-level conversations. This is always a struggle, but there is a continuous need for Africans to be present at roundtable conversations since the conversation is about engaging Africa. It just makes the engagement smoother and mutually rewarding. Also, just like every system or project or every type of engagement, it requires accountability, transparency, and M&E measures for effectiveness and efficiency. This will put everyone on their toes and serves as a reminder to remain focused, to remain committed, and through regular dialogue, provide opportunities for learning, holding everyone accountable to commitments, and improving on the engagement for a better relationship and for better impact. Given there are no historical backlash between the Baltic states and African countries, I think that the Baltic states have an immense opportunity to role model how bilateral cooperation and influence and bilateral cooperation and engagement can better be done with EU-Africa relations. Hope this serves as a quick cheat sheet for you as you think about engaging Africa. Welcome, Baltics!